welcome back everyone to, again, the second day of British National Professional Cup number 2. This is the final day again. We only have 3 matches left now, slowly getting closer and closer to the grand final. Just saw the winner bracket final between Hendo, Epos, Boz, and Wizzy. See Boz in first, Epos second, Wizzy taking home third, and Hendo fourth, which, hate to see it, but out of those 4, someone has to drop down. 2 of them had to drop down into the consolidation final. But with that being said, we'll be going on to our next match soon, which will be between Leo, DvinJo, Acrose, and Real Roy Boy. So 2 Molotov Gaming players in Vinky and Roy. Acrose from Wumbo, and Leo, one of the classics from the old Trackmania days.
Yeah, he's gonna be my spirit animal in this game. he's gonna be doing it for all the boomers. I didn't actually know that Vinky was in Molotov, but yeah, I think it'll be interesting because we just put them at 3rd and 4th. So
yeah,
I think Molotov will be hoping that at least one of them go through to in the top 2, but we'll see. I my money's on Leo first, Acrose second. But I think, I'm gonna put it at Roy Boy being the one who could shake things up a bit. But let's be real though. The main thing to shake things up would be Acrose's internet.
Yeah. He's been having issues with that today, over the weekend. It sounds like. So fingers crossed for him. Touch wood, it managed to hold up, because if his internet's there and he's able to compete, he could possibly get first, I think. Against Leo, very real possibility of it. But again, Vinky and Roy have a good chance to make an upset here and knock either of them 2 players out if they really turn up.
Yeah, it could go either way. It could, but I would like to think that Leo or Acrose would be in that top 2 spot. I think it's just most likely. But they're all really good players, and I think it'll be interesting to see, because I think of as like Vinky. I think his greatest weakness, I would say, is his consistency. And on the other hand, you have Leo, who is, I think, he comes from a competitive background in Trackmania, so he's used to having an emphasis on consistency, which is just pure opposites, I think. And Leo said before that if the general pace is within his comfortable range, he can just bang out round after round, super consistent. So it really depends on if they can push Leo, because if not, he'll run away with this, I think.
Yeah, if he can get comfortable and not have to worry too much about losing on pace, then, like I said, his consistency will really shine through. He's a fan of tech driving, so if we go into a map like Hoga, we can probably see him put up a really good time. And again, I think he got world record yesterday about half an hour before the matches started on frame shift. So even on a map like that, he's definitely going to be able to perform. And as you mentioned, Vinky, not the most consistent of players. We've seen him with incredible pace, but yeah, we'll see how it goes as we start into the first round here on poles. We'll be starting. It'll be interesting to see how all these players shape up. Again, not too sure exactly where everyone's going to finish, for if Roy or Vinky are going to be able to perform above our expectations. But Acrose with a slight deficit at the start, 3/10 behind.
Oh, Roy Boy taking a big hit. He's going to fall quite a bit behind now.
Yeah, Roy just risking a bit too much on that inside line there, and that grass going to be costing him at least a second.
Ooh,
but Vinky
flying off completely.
Yeah, and that's a gift for real Roy Boy. That's going to allow him to get into 3rd. Obviously, first round, so points aren't a worry yet. But players would like to get off start on a good footing. You'd imagine, and
yes. And speaking of good footing, I mean, Leo is going to look at these times and be like, okay, cool. I can keep this pretty solid. I think, you know, in the high 0.8s, that's a comfortable range for him, I would say.
Yeah. Anything which is sub second, you know, would be good. Again, if the pace isn't being pushed too much, which it wasn't for that first round, with a couple of mistakes there, but who knows? Again, Acrose with a bit of a weaker start here. This is consistently 2 rounds in a row that he's been falling back a little bit on the start. We'll see if anyone risks. No, Roy reserves himself there and doesn't go too inside and doesn't repeat the same fate as last time. Get through to this end. Roy does clip. He does, just full stop. Into the barrier there, unfortunately. See Leo again in the lead. Vinky and Acrose in second and third respectively, but Vinky may be able to push Leo for the end here. Both of them getting it clean though.
Leo looking pretty comfortable there. Like, you know, he left it very tight. You know, Vinky did make a push, but I could see Leo doing those kind of wide sort of lines, thinking that, you know, he can keep this lead. So I think you're going to see more of that from him. I think, you know, he's seeing a lot of mistakes from these guys. He would be comfortable taking a second. That's not a problem. So he's seeming very dominant so far, with the rest of them kind of falling apart, with Vinky already crashing at the start. Not looking so good from these other guys.
It's what you really don't want to see, an early mistake into the round where you know, in a section especially where you're going to be wanting to generate as much speed as possible. They're really going to put you out for the rest of it. And again, Leo with a nice little lead as we get through the center of the track, not through mistakes of the others, but just pure pace on his path. As Roy finally gets this section clean. And we'll see if he's going for a similar line to everyone else through that drift there. Acrose a bit wide, but is able to keep it together. To this final sausage section here, no crazy risky low jumps, and everyone gets it pretty good. 54
pretty good.
Zeros.
Pretty, you know, to be blunt, unremarkable times compared to the last match. I think, you know, again, this is a comfortable range for Leo. And I see some people asking about, you know, where Leo came from. I believe he was from around 2013, 2014 sort of era of pro playing for BX3. So he was at a very high tier back then, where it was like majority tech. Obviously these are mixed tracks, but they're quite precise in their nature, which, you know, he can kind of take advantage of. But, you know, we'll be looking at some of the other maps like Frame Shift and seeing a lack of consistency, I would imagine, compared to maps like this. This is a very tech-oriented map, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. Especially compared to Frame Shift, it is quite a little bit more techy. And again, this is probably playing into his hands quite a bit.
That being said, he is falling a little bit behind here, but I'd say he realizes this and is going to make a push at the end. Let's see if he's able to make up the time on Vinky.
Vinky almost clips there.
Ooh, and he has the round.
Risky, and Leo almost got sniped by Roy there at the end. Roy with a lot of speed in that ending and slightly different trajectory up to that wall there to the finish.
But there really is a points gap here. If you have a look at the points there, it's really appearing now.
Leo is the clear favorite so far. He's been first or second every single round, I believe. With Acrose, Vinky, and Roy battling it out for the rest of the spots, all on the 70-point threshold. So, you know, this is a bit of a divide starting, and talk about a divide as Roy is siphoned from the rest of the group there, dropping back into fourth. Quite a deficit. It'll be a bit hard for him to make an impact this round.
That being said, you know, you can almost expect another mistake from at least one of these guys here. Vinky obviously flew off at the second round. Just about holds on here, but you know, let's see. There may yet be another mistake.
Yes, slight slip up there from Acrose. Not the best line, didn't generate the most speed, but he does have a bit more speed than Leo towards the end here, and he's going to go for the risky line, and he snipes him at the very end.
He just barely beats it. I think he needs those points. Or, well, you know, he needs those points not to be taken away, I should say.
No.
But yeah, no, very
Whoa.
very good of him to make that push.
Yeah, massive from Acrose there. That's gonna bring him up into joint with Vinky for second, third place. And already, you know, we're starting to see that Leo really has come to play today. He is looking extremely confident so far, and we're going to be going into frame shift next, which he has the record on. As a point
Don't let it fool you. You know, honestly, after seeing him perform in the last ones, I feel like this was one of his less consistent maps, because you have to look at it like from this point of view. If he's played it a lot to the point where he gets a really good time, it may be because he doesn't feel that comfortable on it. That might be another way of looking at it, at least. But you know, from my point of view, I've played this quite a bit. For a tech player, exclusively tech player, the outside dirt, the the plastic sections, like, there's a few parts that are a little bit not super comfortable. So it's hard to do those consistently. So we'll see if it keeps up. I think it, like, my guess is that it will be a little bit more difficult for him to be consistent here than the last map.
Yeah, it's not the most natural sections of the track, you say, as you mentioned, the outside dirt, the plastic, and the grass especially. For a traditional tech player, it's not second nature to him. But again, like I said, he got the world record. Is that because he was extremely scared of this track coming up and his consistency may not be there? We'll have to see as we go into rounds here. We kick it off with round one. Again, got a point lead, so we can afford to have one bad round maybe. We'd obviously be hoping to get as many -1s as possible here, and really try and generate that gap.
Yeah, but I think he'll be, he'll be looking for that. He'll be looking for people making a mistake like Acrose just did on the outside dirt there. I think, the important thing here is to be consistent. These guys are making a lot of mistakes. As long as he stays middle of the road, he'll be fine.
Yeah, speaking of middle of the road, he looked like he was middle of the pack there as he went into the checkpoint. His front pack is separated by mere strands of hair. It's that close. As real Royboy and Vinky are going to be battling for first, but Leo's got a lot of speed here. Who's going to snipe it to the line? It's going to be DvinJo.
That's a close round.
Thousandths ahead of Roy. That was a great round. Not the best pace, we will say, compared to the other match. But as far as a round goes, that was incredibly neck and neck.
It was, and good point on the pace. They are, what is it, like 0.7 away from Boz's average. So it's just a case of consistency, honestly. This match is really shaping up to be just drive a decent time and don't crash.
Yeah, this is showing, you hate to say it, the difference between the upper bracket and the lower bracket, really. The players not quite the same pace and a little bit more wobbly, shall we say, on the lines and how consistent they are, but not to take away from them, they're all amazing, incredible players.
No, but you're totally right, and I think I was going to comment on it's where Leo should shine, but we all make mistakes even when we're trying to be safe. So, and that being said, Vinky narrowly avoids getting another crash there.
All he can survive, and Acrose getting a first place with a 0.6, nearly a 0.7, arguably. But that's a better round from him. I think is that his first place in a round? I think that might be. So
yeah, so maybe a sign for the future. I think as I said, I'll point out that Leo crashed on an outside dirt, which is it's hard for somebody not super used to those kind of surfaces to nail those more difficult turns. Exactly. So the consistency could be lacking there, and that's what we're seeing, I think, now.
Especially, like I say, those outside dirt turns where you can really generate such an advantage, or, well, in this, not be able to keep up with the rest of the pack as everyone else is also going to be attacking the outside dirt really aggressively. So you don't really want to have to safe it, otherwise you're just going to be, dropping back really far. Speaking of dropping back, Roy is a little bit behind the rest of them. go through the uphill dirt. Leo managed to hold it together this time. But it's getting overtaken by Vinky through the plastic.
But he
Vinky's
might
got to
tech diff
release a
him
lot.
at the end. Yep, tech diff.
Oh, yeah. Leo's got the
Huge
speed. And does
tech
Acrose
diff.
have the speed onto Vinky? He does. DvinJo drops down to 3rd place there. Looking like he could have been winning that round. Just didn't have the best entry.
But you saw it on the entry. Like Leo was very confidently going over wide to cut in there with a lot of speed, and he had speed to spare. I think, you know, as I said, you know, if he doesn't feel comfortable on those dirt sections, he'll feel comfortable everywhere else.
Exactly, yeah. And now, obviously, he just needs to try and safe and not do anything, not make any mistakes with the tech sections, especially. As I said, that's his bread and butter. He needs to be able to guarantee those that you know, the sections there are gonna be in his favor and that he can keep or generate as much lead as possible.
Oof.
We see two mistakes already in this round.
I would say, like, honestly, one mistake from Vinky, but from Roy, just some kind of weird lines coming out, to be honest. I think there's a bit of nerves showing from him, I would say. Very strange lines at the start.
Yeah, really wide on the grass there. Maybe it's planned, maybe just trying to compensate for a slight issue on entry.
It's not planned. That's not planned.
It's not. You'd imagine not. Again, Leo getting into first, 0.7s, very nice. Just
solid time, and he has time to spare as well. He's got an extra 0.2, 0.5 like before the others catch up with him. So I think, you know, again, when you have that distance, you start feeling comfortable. You start just getting focused and just pumping out solid times, not like amazing times, not winner bracket final times, but solid times.
Yeah, because I mean, from these first couple rounds and, you know, after the first map as well, it's clear that he doesn't need to be doing near world record pace in this match. And just, you know, like I said, those 0.7s, you know, a little bit off of world record is going to be enough because of the inherent mistakes that are going to naturally be made by the other players as they try and risk and push for a faster time. Actually, Epos mentioned in the chat that you know, Roy was at Gamac, so maybe it isn't a thing of pressure. He's pretty good at these sort of tournament events, and, you know, he's done the LAN event himself. But Roy is in 3rd place this round. We'll see if into this last sort of section he can gain 1 or 2. Looks like Acrose is solid up front. Leo again, really nice corner there on the drift, but yeah, no mistakes made from anyone there, and it's just nice, clean, and consistent from everyone, really.
Yes, indeed. And let's look at the times, the points real quick. I mean, it's pretty well spread now. I think I wouldn't say it's anyone's game, but, you know, at the same time, Leo isn't looking quite as untouchable after that map. I think there's been a bit of a gap closed.
Couple of slip-ups, some would say. The mask is peeling, seeing that he is mortal. He isn't prone, you know, he can't avoid the errors.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, there's a 10-point difference between him and Acrose, so it's pretty close. But I think we should be looking at the difference between Acrose and DvinJo is 3rd right now. So that's a point difference of 15 points. It'll be interesting to see if DvinJo can make up that difference, because I think that's the crucial positioning right now, I think.
Yeah, because I'm not too sure on exactly if, you know, if any of these players feel particularly confident on Hoga, but as we saw from the last match, we're likely to see a couple of errors from even the players we don't really expect to make them. Just due to the nature of this track being pretty tricky. So we could see, you know, maybe Leo's... I said going into this, Leo would probably be pretty good on this map, as it's a little bit more tech-oriented, and he just generally gels with that. But if he gets some sections kind of wrong, he could start losing a lot of points. Equally as well, anyone else could. It's extremely punishing, this track.
Very true. I mean, I tried it recently, and I would have said that it's like quite a tech map being made by Asa and Kerberos, but yeah, it's very difficult. I was still, you know, after about like 20-30 minutes of playing it, I was still a second off the pace, like quite comfortably a second off the pace. Roy Boy, we're going into the first round, by the way, but Roy Boy is fallen a bit behind at that start. I think I've noticed that if you go very wide and carry a lot of speed through that dirt section, you can really make up a lot of time. But it's Leo and DvinJo vying for first right now.
Yeah, Roy getting a nice line up into this dirt uphill, but not able to generate enough to really propel him anywhere. Leo dropping back from Vinky slightly. Going to the Bob. Acrose with a higher entry line. That's going to drop him back a little bit.
We're going into a heavy drift section here. I'm interested to see if Leo pulls out. And looks like looks like he more than does.
Leo messed it up. Leo didn't get the finish, unfortunately.
Okay, I jinxed him.
You definitely jinxed it there. That was you hate to see it happen. You hate to see it, but the risky fin is deceptively challenging. As you see, a 10-point gap now between Acrose and DvinJo and Roy. So they're all, pretty evenly spaced. Leo only 6 points ahead, sorry, of Acrose, and now 1 place behind him in the race. As
Leo making a big mistake at the start there. That's very un-Leo-like, I would say, in this match so far. Does he have enough time to catch up? It does not look like it. I think he's quite far behind now. 6 seconds.
It looked like a 0.8 deficit, but maybe he then made another one. Maybe he's getting into his head slightly. Who knows? Hopefully not. As the rest of his driving's been great. It's just that slight unforced error there at the start with just clipping.
But it is a very crucial fight at the start, at the top up here, with Acrose hitting the wall, I think, or something like that. If he makes it through this risky, I mean, it's not a lot of points in the difference between the two of them now. I mean, it's 8 points now. Not a super comfortable distance for Acrose.
No, it's big for Leo to be dropping 10 points like that. Acrose now gets ahead of him into first by 1 point. So, that first map of poles was looking great for him, but it's not looking so great on Hogan right now.
No, not at all. I honestly wow. Okay. Okay.
And another one. Oh.
Wow. Well, the start has claimed quite a few casualties now. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. This is the cruel mistress. This map has claimed 2 more victims.
Specifically, the start. Like the start is just cruel. Like it really is cruel.
Leo
is coming out ahead now, but I think the one to watch is probably like DvinJo and boy. Where is Roy ahead? Yes, he is. Okay, so DvinJo is probably going to eat those 10 points now.
Really far behind. Oh, as long as everyone gets a clean finish here, which Leo, Acrose, and Roy do. Barely.
I would not call that a clean finish from Roy. It was an attempt at a clean finish.
Yeah. He didn't have to double respawn safe fin, thankfully.
That's clean enough.
As Leo and Hendo leapfrog each other and swap places up at first and second.
Leo and Acrose. You got your Welsh players mixed up.
I have. Apologies. Got Hendo on the mind as always. But we see Roy. Roy with a slightly less favourable start. Maybe have to do a bit of a release so that he didn't make a major mistake there.
Probably very aware after the last round, I would say.
Yes, painfully aware that a single mistake there will pretty much count you out for the rest of the round.
Vinky is cooking though. I mean, he's lost a bit of speed on that wide dirt, but
slightly
he was looking
different
pretty
line
fast.
to everyone else.
The cars are all just completely blending in now.
The 3 up front, all trying to get through this drift incredibly well. We get to the last drift here. We'll see if anyone's going to make a mistake. The finish, it actually absolutely is.
Yeah, tech diff.
Absolutely is. What a great round there from all the players being incredibly close. All came down to that final corner, and obviously nobody making a mistake there for the risky. That would have been heartbreaking to see someone make a mistake there and have that be the reason the round was decided.
As it so often is.
Unfortunately as well, Roy is now on to single digits, so he's very, very soon going to be gone to last chance, it feels like. If he's able to get a couple of first places, that would be keeping himself in the match, but I would be surprised if we saw it.
It could happen,
sure.
like, you know, I think he's getting to the point where he might as well just start pushing. You know,
Yeah.
it's not looking good for him. He has to pull something out. Vinky flies off.
Mistake
Okay,
there
that's a
from
full
Vinky.
respawn.
Yeah, he
That's
went
not good.
a bit too inside there. Acrose again with a slightly wobbly ice line, but it seems to be working out for him this
Leo
round. But
catching
Leo's
again.
catching up. This drift here, and it's
It's
going to
just
be
a
another
tech
tech
diff.
diff. But the finish, okay, both players getting the finish,
But
great.
it's the combination, because there's like 2 drifts at the end, and if you keep speed, probably about a tenth or two that you get back.
Definitely, definitely. And like that sausage drift is, it really as important as the last drift. As you say, you have to carry as much speed through that one to be able to get a good final drift.
Yeah,
And
I found it really weird as well. It's you need to kind of project where you're going to end up, because you have to start super super wide and carry as much speed
yeah,
as possible. And actually, you have to do exactly the same thing at the start of the map, before the drop down from the pillar thingy. I don't know what it's called, platform. Yeah, you have to really carry speed, which means that you go wide and just project the angle,
yeah,
which is just terrifying. Like, you're just completely blind. You don't know where you're going, and you just go for it.
yeah,
But obviously, tech players will be more used to projecting those lines, more used to projecting those angles. So,
yeah.
it's a good one for Leo, I think.
One of those maps where that start, like you said, you can't really safe it, otherwise you'll be losing a lot of time, just by
Yeah,
the nature of how it is.
and we saw that from Roy a
Mm,
few times. I think he was just ending up
yeah,
quite a bit behind, and then you have to play catch up for the rest of the map, because there's not as much super significant areas where you can gain
definitely,
time.
definitely. And I wonder if Roy Boy's a fan of Candy Crush. As that is going to be our next map, and we really have to hope that Roy is able to step it up here. He's got 3 points, so unless he gets first for a couple of rounds, he's going to be getting into last chance pretty much immediately.
I think
And he'll
this
be
is gonna
fighting
be
for his life.
dodgy as hell. I feel
Mm.
like we've already seen quite a dodgy sort of match, I would say, in
Yeah,
terms of like a lot of mistakes, and this is the mistake maker. This map, I would
yeah.
say.
As everyone seems to be getting it pretty clean on this first round. Ignore me ever saying that. 3 of the players are getting it clean this round. As Leo, Vinky, and Roy are doing good. Acrose falling back a bit. DvinJo with a bit of an awkward line there, but not losing too much speed,
Leo seems
thankfully.
to eat that quite often, and Roy Boy
Yeah,
flipping up in the air as well.
where's
Okay,
he
we got
going?
another casualty.
Yeah, maybe Acrose able to catch up with him. It doesn't look like the
Yeah,
speed's going to be there compared to
we'll
Roy.
see. We'll see.
DvinJo with a very inside line
Jeez,
there.
that's way
Didn't
too
respawn
tight.
in. Yeah, and he
It's not
unfortunately
needed.
for him. Yeah,
Does
not
Royboy
an
have
instant
speed for the
respawn.
end? He doesn't have. Oh no,
He
he does.
does.
Okay.
He does just about. But Acrose getting second in that round. Oh no, third in that round. Sorry, is kind of a massive lifeline.
I
Um.
mean,
Oh my
oh,
gosh.
Royboy into the last chance, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I said, Candy Crush just delivering on its promise of ruining dreams, and
Definitely.
yeah, making everyone have an awful day.
Yeah, I mean, going for that inside plastic line, which I don't think we've seen from any of the players in the previous match.
Wizzy
So a
does
bit
go
of a
quite
different approach.
inside. Wizzy goes quite
Yeah.
inside, but it's not not that inside, because obviously he went off the track,
Yeah, never
which is
dipping a
not
toe into
ideal.
the out of bounds.
But
Never
watch
doing.
Leo. He likes to do that. He kind of flicks up a little bit on the dirt, and every time I think he's gonna crash. But it's actually quite intentional
Oh,
somehow.
Vinky gets a nice little
Roy.
nose down there, intentionally or not. But Roy clipping the outside dirt in last chance. This may spell the end of his BIPC run here.
Unless we get a weird end if Vinky decides to push, which he might.
Yeah, but I think Acro's got
No.
slightly more speed than him. They're all going to get into the finish barely. I wonder if Vinyo is going to clip there and
That was
get
way too
himself into
close.
fourth.
There's no need to go that far right on the finish.
Absolutely.
He's
Especially
not
when,
going for world
you
records,
know,
but good game to Roy
know,
Boy.
yeah,
It
he
might not have
played
been
so well.
his best game, but he played a good tournament.
Definitely. Doing himself proud. Unfortunately, going to be knocked out though. And that's going to leave us with Acrose, Leo, and DvinJo. And I think DvinJo is also on to single-digit points. Yep, he's got 1 point. He is the single-digit remaining. So
Yeah,
you
he'll
know,
be
he's going to
risking.
be going into last chance regardless. Like you said, yeah, just risk it. You know, try and take as many points away from everyone else, and you know, he could do a couple of runs of not ending last, and really put everyone else in the mud. We'll see. Doesn't
Acrose
get the
and
best
DvinJo, they're
one.
going for the wombo combo right now.
Yeah, they are indeed. Okay, Leo going for a slightly more inside line there. Maybe the initial line from Vinky wasn't quite what he was going for, but these three are all going to be neck and neck going into the last checkpoint here. Let's see who's going to have enough speed as we cross the line. It's pretty much a photo
It
finish.
is the wombo
But
combo.
Vinky gets it. He gets it first by
Wow.
2,000ths over Acrose.
200s in it.
200.
That's insane.
It's what VGR in chat, everyone. That was a very, very good round. This is what you love to see. Obviously,
Vinky in the last chance now though. This is he really has to pull through a good but consistent round. Like it's gonna be tough for him to keep the mental here.
He was able to get first that last round, barely. So if he could do that again, that's really what he needs to.
He had nothing to lose last round though, right? I mean, that's the difference. I think his heart will be racing right now through every corner. So,
gonna be incredibly aware.
Very aware. Yeah. But it's Leo in the hot seat right now. Does DvinJo go too close? Oh my god, that was way too close. Like that was cutting it so close.
Acrose cuts the corner, though. Vinky lives to see another day.
Okay.
Let's go for the safe in there. He goes a bit too risky on that last corner. Does dip a wheel into the onto the inside of the road, then loses all the speed possible. No way of hitting the risky finish. Again, Acrose now going to be down to 11 points. So
wait,
Leo having an issue.
Oh no. That's unfortunate. I don't know.
I think maybe a round restart would be good here. I will just force that because a tech issue.
Lagged out, yeah.
Let's just double check internet is okay. Okay, yeah, so yeah, I'll just not be live for this round. Just because, yeah, we need to make sure everyone has okay internet. Okay, so we'll go live on the restart.
Ready, he says.
Yeah, so let's do whatever end round. There we go. Admin KJ coming in there, making sure it's all gonna be sorted. Yeah, fortunate internet issue there. But we don't want to see a round like this decided by someone having horrendous lag at the very start and kind of ruining the rest of the match.
I think Acrose has sent his horrible lag over to Leo for these last couple of rounds.
Yeah, he's there.
But it's difficult for these players to have that disruption as well. So it will play on the mental. I think he is a little bit behind now, and let's see if he can make up the time. He's slowly creeping up on these guys though.
Yeah, and Leo really attacking that outside dirt that I thought he clipped, but not quite. Him and Acrose neck and neck into the end. But instead, DvinJo is dropping, is behind, and doesn't look like he's going to be able to fight his way out from this third position.
Nearly half a second now. He needs a crash. A crash.
Leo gets it though. Finish. Yeah, Leo pips Acrose to the line there.
And
And
DvinJo is
unfortunately,
out.
yeah, DvinJo getting knocked out there, along with Real Roy Boy, as we partially predicted. But it's still amazing drive from them there, DvinJo.
Yeah,
Surviving himself on that one round, getting first, and then unfortunately,
honestly, I think
swept out.
DvinJo can be proud of that performance at the end. I think he really kind of got himself together and got some consistent rounds in, got some good times in. He was looking pretty solid. I think maybe the round disruption may have played on his mental a little bit and made it a bit harder to stay in the zone. But
Yeah,
you got to deal with that in the competition setting. So these things happen.
puts a different level of pressure onto the players, but obviously want to try and have an even and fair experience. It would be, like I said, remiss if we had that round decided because of
Absolutely.
Leo's internet issue.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, it's just a natural thing with competitive, tournaments and whatnot. Just got to keep the mental, keep the focus. But
But he
fortunately, yeah,
played well.
knocked out. Yeah,
He played very
extremely well,
well.
extremely.
Yeah.
Um, but we will be now seeing going back onto polls, which was Leo played extremely well on polls. If I remember correctly from the first time round, I think he was first on 3 of the rounds or 4 of the rounds, and second on either one or two of the others. But he has a substantial lead over Acrose, an 18-point lead. With Acrose only on 5,
That's a
so
good lead, and I would say that this was, in my opinion, far and away his most comfortable map.
yeah, I think
I
so.
didn't see any major mistakes on this. It might have just been because he was at the start of the round, start of the match, and just head in the game. But
Yeah,
uh, in in my opinion, it's well suited to a tech player. It's as simple as that.
definitely, definitely. But it's not discredit Acrose. He's amazing driver in his own right there, with a bit of a different line though at the start. So let's see if that's gonna pay off. It looks like for now it is. Really driving that outside line incredibly risky. Um, yeah, Croson really up there, gonna
Is
be
that
battling.
is that a horn that I
I
heard?
think that may be Acrose's horn. Um,
Okay, I don't know
yeah,
what that was, but okay.
amazing focus, amazing focus. Uh, 20 mark videos at once apparently. Um,
Wow.
but yeah, Acrose gonna be taking this first round on polls here. Um, a 53.9.
Not a
Not
great
not
time.
incredibly fast, but pretty good.
No, I
It's
think Leo can hit this. I reckon he can hit this a lot faster.
absolutely.
Um,
I mean, yeah, Acros now into last chance. Unavoidable. With how the points shift now. There's only the 2 players remaining. Leo on 13 points, so just 3 first places for Acros, and he wins the map. Should be easy enough, right? As I
as he
sarcastically say
falls,
that.
yeah, and as he hits the side on the outside dirt, not so good. It
Yeah,
wouldn't be impossible, but I mean, look, I can't see Leo completely messing this up if he has hood on. That's the question, though.
yes, that's a fair point. Yeah.
He's
You
going
know,
pretty
if
fast right now, though. He does not look like
yeah,
he's holding back.
he's pushing it. Acros is he typed mercy in the chat mid round. He
Okay,
knows it's over.
Jesus.
He knows he's through as well. So I guess light-hearted enough with that. But
Yeah,
yeah, that'll be the round there. An absolute GG.
that
Um,
is a GG.
Okay, guys.
you know,
Oh my God,
Acros
what is
coming in with
that?
the mic spam. With the horn there. I
Oh
do
my
believe that
God.
is quite literally a Hello Mark video, or 20 of them being played at once apparently. So
It's
you'll
an
you'll
art
love to see
piece.
the
It's beautiful.
the community memes coming in here on on BIPC. But yeah, what a game that was. As we sort of predicted, Leo getting first, Acros getting second, but it was a toss up really between Acros and anyone else getting second there. Felt like, um, Fortunately, again, DvinJo and Roy dropping out of the tournament with again
Yeah,
Leo
I
and
did
Acrose going on.
I did put Roy above DvinJo, but DvinJo played a really good game. So I think he definitely more than deserved the third place, and in fact he was in the running for second place. In a way, he could have got there.
He could have, but unfortunately just wasn't able to string it together on the day. Again, really good. We'll potentially be getting an interview with a player. We'll see if anyone's up to have a little chat and talk about how they think the game went. But there is a match immediately after where they will be playing anyone who did win here, so understandable if they just like to have a little bit of a breather, pop to the toilet, grab a cuppa or something. But speaking of that match coming up next, it's going to be an absolute titan of a match. We're going to be having Wizzy, Hendo, Leo, and Acrose. So I don't know how to call this one, quite frankly.
I think you should call it. I think you should say, which of your Welsh friends are going to be above the other one. I feel like you have to put both of them in the top two.
I have to. And I think it'll possibly be Hendo, Acrose, Wizzy, Leo, but that doesn't make any logical sense based on the match performances. This is just pure bias here. If we're talking realistically, I think it's gonna be Wizzy or Leo first, second, I think, and maybe Acrose, Hendo knocking out. I don't want this to be the case though.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Leo, Wizzy, and then I'm gonna say Hendo, Acrose. That's my prediction.
Painful. But I mean,
sorry.
I understand it. I understand. I'm just disappointed. But
actually, I just remembered Hendo is wearing the Irish skin, so Hendo first, of course.
Yes. Hendo first. All right. Look, quick chat. Let us know who you guys think is going to be placing where. But speaking of Welsh drivers, we're going to be having an interview with Acrose, I believe, very shortly. So we'll be able to get his thoughts on that previous match and see how he felt it went. So yeah, we have Acrose here. There we go. We're joined with the man himself, getting second in that match. Still an amazing drive. How do you think it went, Acrose?
Hello. Good.
Hello.
So, obviously, a lot of internet issues. I've had a lot of nerve issues. I think my hands are kind of shaking throughout most of the match, especially at the start. I played HUD off for the whole thing, by the way. So I don't know how it went. I heard that apparently anyone could have got second. I'm not sure, but yeah. I didn't play the best, to be honest.
You still played pretty good, obviously well enough at least to get second. But like as you said, playing with HUD off, spoiler, you and Vinky were pretty close throughout. I think on Hoga, you and Leo were battling for first and second on points. I mean, we could go to Hoga. How do you think that one went? Because that seemed to be like a map which you were pretty darn good on.
Oh, Hoga was my worst map of that match. I think the best time I drove was a 57.5 maybe, and I don't quote me on that, but in the yesterday's match in the winners semis, I think that was like the worst time I drove. I think the nerves just got to me on Hoga because I felt like I also had a pretty bad poles. I wasn't really sure, but hopefully I play a little bit. I mean, if it was apparently a good map, then yeah, that's good. But I'll need to clean it up for the next match if I want to go through.
Yeah, you mentioned poles. I think coming out of poles, Leo had a quite commanding lead, but you and the rest of them were all pretty much tied, like very close on points. But then, it looked like that was just a bit of a gap there from Leo's ahead of you and DvinJo and Roy Boy. I mean, are you surprised, or is this how you expected the result to go for the match?
Yeah. So think he was third, right? And then, yeah, so I expected Leo to win. Like, obviously, I placed above him in the semi-finals match before, but that was kind of, it didn't really matter because we both, you know, we were completely out of that match. Trying to risk to beat Bosny Boss, but I do think he is just better than me. And unless I somehow pull something out the bag, I'm not sure what's going to happen. But yeah, I did actually play DvinJo before in the first winners bracket match, and I'd say it was a little closer in this match than it was before. So he's obviously put in some good practice, got better, which is nice to see.
Oh, definitely. I mean, going into obviously you're gonna have the consolidation final coming up next. Let me just double check. That's gonna be you, Hendo, Leo, and Wizzy. How are you looking for that? What are your thoughts going into that match?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure Wizzy will. I don't know if easily, but he should be able to get back up there. Obviously, he's very solid.
Okay.
But to be honest, the position in the grand finals is anyone's game. It depends who just performs best right now when they need it. Obviously, Hendo and Leo, I don't think they've played yet. But
Don't think so either. No.
I'm pretty sure I lost to Leo and Hendo roughly about the same in terms of how many points lead they had. So I'm kind of unsure. I have no idea. It's anyone's game.
Fair enough. And I mean, going then into the grand final, do you have any thoughts on who will win the overall event, or is that a bit foggy to call right now with two of the players not in there?
No, it's not foggy. It's Bosbez's to lose.
Okay.
He has just more pace, better consistency than everyone else in the entire tournament. EPOS Type 1, he's definitely been close to Bosbez in both the winners matches that he's played against him. So, I mean, I expect to see the same thing in the grand finals, and I probably assume that Wizzy will come for third as well.
Okay, very nice. Hotspot, any questions for Acrose?
Tell us about the horn.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that was a horn given to me by Mr. Comrade Louis, Type 1 in chat as well. Definitely my favorite horn. It's 20 mark videos at the same time. I just forgot to whip it out in the other matches. So there you go.
It's beautiful.
Glad it was caught.
It was wonderful.
Nice.
Yeah, the whole thing was caught. It's beautiful.
Yeah, we got that on the stream. So lovely to see. Obviously, a nice drop to nice reference to Mark there, loved by the British and Irish Trackmania community at large. Yep, I won't hold you any longer. Acrose, give you a bit of time to have a breather before your next match. Best of luck to you and to all the other players competing. Fingers crossed you guys get through, you and Hendo. I'm going to be cheering for you. There's the only 2 Welsh players remaining. Hopefully we'll see at least one of you, if not both of you, in the final. So yeah, good luck with that.
Diolch yn fawr.
Yeah, very nice.
Good luck.
Nobody in chat, apart from like a handful of 3 people, knew exactly what he said there. But that's perfect. That's what we like when we speak well. But yeah, I mean, if we have a little look at the match, get our predictions before we hop into a break here. Again, we said likely to be Wizzy and Leo. First, second, likely, and Acrose though saying that the 3rd spot is up for grabs between him, Leo, and Hendo though. So
I'm gonna call it Leo, Wizzy, Acrose, Hendo.
You're still guaranteed. You're still convinced that Leo's gonna.
No, sorry, Hendo first is what I said.
Hendo first. Yeah, because of the skin.
Yes, because of
the inherent buff that you get from it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an extra 20 speed, 20 acceleration or so, something like that.
That works. Yeah, we rang it in a day when I asked them that, and they're like, yeah, it just is faster.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll be jumping into that match on the hour. So we're gonna have a slight short break here. as we prepare for that. So yeah, we'll see you guys all shortly.